to be reunited with their beloved ones in heaven on the last day. So the man asked, is he going to be reunited also with his wife? The priest said yes, and then he said, if that's the case, he prefers not to go to heaven. Brothers and sisters, this is how most of the times we found ourselves uncomfortable relating with people and trying to separate or distance ourselves from. Today, our reflection on 27th Sunday of Ordinary Time Year B, our first reading from the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18 to 24. We are presented with our narrative where God created wonderful things, thousands of species, thousands of things, beautiful mountains, sea. Yet he saw that man was not happy, and he see the need of creating his companion, creating a companion for him. The God created a woman, the first common context of human generation, where they found themselves living together. Today, each and every one of us, taking a frenetic pace of commitment in the society, we found ourselves trying to choose people that we feel much comfortable with, and the people that we don't feel much comfortable with, and distance ourselves from. But then, rescinding from this context of common living, which is irrespective of our indifferences, in fact, if we are all the same, we will have nothing to offer each other. Indifferences in this context has become a point or an element to solidify that communion with our relationship with one another, bearing each one another as a burden that to be sanctified and should sanctify us. In fact, in the second reading, the letter to the Hebrews shows the loving tenderness of God. This loving tenderness of God did not leave us in the hands of the serpent, where we read from the first reading. In fact, the meaning of serpent, which is a separator, envy of this intimacy with God and one another, trying to instigate us into envy, jealousy, and all sort of things that destroy the harmony between our society or between one among us. Jesus, in the second reading, we see who experienced everything in our human nature except sin, clarified and all, has shown us that he also experienced these emotions. So he is no longer new to this context, but it becomes a model in which we are all invited to look upon. Only those who enter in this union, this full union with God, can be able to extend this communion and this pure harmony with one another. Of course, they say there is a saying that you can only give what you have. If you don't have, of course, you can be able to give. This love, this communal living that we are all invited to live should present or should be taken from the example of Jesus, as St. Paul said, he who is the Lord that he loves his church, that dies for it, which is endless love and mercy. In the Gospel of St. Mark, we are presented from that dramatic scene where the Jewish or the doctors of the law trying to find faults in Jesus' teachings about the marriage. This which caused a question, a fundamental question that we are all invited to ask. Because Christianity, if Christianity is an internally meditated from the faith, externally manifested through the act of charity, of perfection, we are being asked, which of the Christianity are we practicing? That of a merely observance of the laws that distinguish themselves or distinguish ourselves from others, or that of the internally meditated love of Christ through faith manifested in the work of charity among ourselves? Jesus has changed the narrative of marriage, where marriage has become a solid and forever union with God. From the example here that He died for us, only through Him then we can be able to fulfill this invitation that is given to us. Brothers and sisters, marriage today is not, in this context, we are not talking about solidly or exclusively the union between a husband and a wife, be it a consecrated person, be it a baptized person. We have already had this communion through the baptism in which we receive. This commitment is an invitation to enter into that everlasting union which prefigures that eternity of returning to our Creator. Let us at this occasion invite God's grace, pray for His grace of humility, of understanding, of patience, and of communion to meditate His words in our hearts and help us to dwell it forever and ever. May the Almighty God bless His words in our hearts through Christ our Lord.
We are changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart. Ancient words ever true. Changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the